Hello. From the Ask Pach forum from Paul. What a great name. He must work for Game Trailers. How did he get that name on his gamer tag?
Facebook, just get the first name.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought they had, aren't there like 400 Pauls then?
On our forums, Facebook is just like you need from Facebook.
So there can be 400 Pauls. So we don't know which Paul this is. So everybody out there named Paul, you can post on Game Trailers, hey, thanks for answering my question. All right, from Paul. Do you have an opinion on the current prevalence of day one game patches and continued extensive patching post-launch? And do you think this is acceptable practice? Yeah, I have an opinion. I don't think it matters at all. So yes, I think it's acceptable. The truth is that, you know, the developers and publishers announce release dates typically several months, 4 to 6 months before the game comes out. And on the annualized franchises, it's a year ahead of time when Call of Duty's coming out, or Madden, or FIFA. And even on the not annualized franchises, the ones that come out every 2 or 3 years, you pretty much know when something is kind of a holiday title, like Watch Dogs was supposed to be. If you're gonna get to your launch date and you haven't absolutely beta tested every last little detail in the game, there's gonna be a patch. So, you know, what they do is they go gold 30 days before launch, and then they find more bugs, and that's where the patch comes from. So I guess the trade-off is either you have the minor inconvenience of having to wait 30 or 50 seconds for the patch to download, or you have the massive inconvenience of getting a buggy game. And if they want to make sure they get you a non-buggy game, then the even more massive inconvenience is you have to wait 3 or 4 months because every game will be delayed if they don't do that. So I think that it's in everybody's best interest to release games when they're scheduled to be released, because it allows other game companies to kind of manage the window and make sure that they don't all come out the same day and somebody loses. I think it's best for everybody if we have some predictability, and I think game patches are a fairly unobtrusive inconvenience. Like I said, it depends on your internet speed, but I can't remember one. I think like the worst one I ever had was that Little Big Planet patch to take out the bad language, whatever they said, some ethnic slur or something song. And that was maybe 4 minutes. It really wasn't horrible. We're not talking about system patches like a PS3 update or a Nintendo Wii U update. So no, I think it's acceptable. I don't think it matters. I think people who whine about that don't have enough bad in their lives to think about. So this is the worst thing that happens to you the rest of your life. You are one lucky dude, Paul. You should be really happy that having to wait for patches really upsets you enough to ask that question. Okay, from the forums, we got a question from Spec Ops 729. My girlfriend before my wife, her birthday was 729. I hope this isn't her. It's more than 20 years ago, so you never know. I read a few articles recently saying that some people got motion sickness from new games that look intensely realistic. Do you think this is or will become a problem for the industry? Do you think that eventually developers will reach a limit of visual realism in games to avoid motion sickness, or is that just a bunch of hooey? I think that's a great question. I think that obviously they want to make games that don't make people sick. So yeah, it's a good question and good point. I don't know exactly what it is that makes people sick. I know Nintendo 3DS had that impact on a lot of people, but that was because you were having to focus, so close and go back and forth on screens from 2D to 3D. And Nintendo had the slide bar to kind of allow you to adjust it so that it didn't give you a headache. I have not ever gotten sick playing a game. I take that back. I think Mirror's Edge I got sick, but I just got dizzy sick. Like, it was because that game was first person and you were like flipping around and doing weird stuff. I think that as they beta test every game, they try to make sure that it doesn't make the test market sick. So I think that the answer is you're going to always have some people who find it, dizzying or whatever. They'll try to keep that down to a very small percentage, like under 1. And I think if they can do that, then they'll probably reach the right answer. We have a question from the forums from Mac Iware. Mac Iware? Mac Aware? It's an odd name. Dear Mr. Pachter, why won't Sony or Microsoft offer at least one color choice for customers at launch? Wow. I gotta stop right there. Wow. I'd love a white console. Wow. Mecca where? But I can't even say what I'm thinking right now. But for some reason, black is the unavoidable rule on both cases. I just say wow to that. You could paint yours white. You could buy a skin and make it white. You know, I guess Nintendo kind of pioneered this with the Game Boy, and I almost get that, like it's a little accessory, and I just ordered my new iPhone, and just as a goof, I ordered gold, because when I saw gold, I'm like, who would ever get a gold iPhone? And then I got the order form, because the firm buys it for me. I got the order form, and it's like, do you want whatever, it's pewter white or gold, I think, or pewter black, white or gold, and I'm like, oh, gold, check. So I guess, you know, and I know they have the 5C that comes in all these pretty colors, I guess, but like really seriously, when you're playing with your PlayStation, do you look at it ever? The answer is no. So I guess it's a piece of furniture when you're not playing, but when you're not playing, you shouldn't be looking at it. You're not sitting on it, you're not doing anything with it. Who cares? The answer is because it's cheaper to just deal with inventory when you have a single SKU. If you have to ship white and black, it causes grief at retail, because then you'd have a retailer who has to stock white and black, and somebody would buy a white one and not realize it, think it was the black one. That would cause two types of packaging. You need a box with white on the cover and a box with black. Obviously, you could do it with a little dot that the box inside this packaging is a black one. But if the one on the cover outside artwork on the box was white and it had a black dot, you'd have confusion, which makes retail crazy because the consumer would bring it back and they don't want to deal with it. And the truth is, most people just don't care. If you don't give people a choice, they take what you give them. So, I mean, I think that question is like asking why McDonald's doesn't serve burgers on 5 different choices of bun. Like, why would they bother? Who cares? Hope that answered your question. I know I'm getting meaner as I get older. If you have a question for me, you can submit it to the link below. If you'd like to ask me a question on Twitter, send it to @MichaelPachter, copy @GameTrailers, and apply the hashtag AskPac. And we will answer every question we can get to. I will send you a direct message and answer your question directly if you follow me on Twitter @MichaelPachter. Thanks very much for joining us. I have it.
Okay.
I have it, I think. I think he's J Finger. Are you guys all first initial, last name, or is it?
Nah, because I'm like Kyle.
Oh, I have it. I have it, because he went to the E3 party that you didn't go to. Yeah, what do you say? Oh, yeah, you weren't there. You weren't there.
Yeah, I know.
How do you know? I think he made it up. I told everybody to tell you they were there. It's going to be better this year. You've been to that thing, have you? Have you been to that? Yeah.
I've never been invited.
Oh, yeah, you were invited. Don't even go there.
I know technically I'm probably invited, but I've never.
You were probably
fully
working.
Invited,
You should go.
I would love to.
Okay, you want to do backyard monsters? We could do this for like 50 minutes, but.
Yeah, don't do it for 15 minutes.